from New York. Ebro in the morning on Hot 97.
It's Ebro in the morning. Laura Styles looking amazing. Wrestling T. Rosenberg's on a WWE assignment, and 2 Chainz almost canceled the whole damn interview.
Yeah, I rock with Rosenberg.
Yeah. You wasn't even ready. You was like, I can't sit with this Ebro
I
old
was
man
looking around.
dude.
I thought he was on his coffee break or in the bathroom,
No.
but then I realized shortly that the boy ain't here. But he picking up a bag. You know.
Yeah.
That music money and that TV money, they two different things. And I'm sure the what is it, WWE?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the problem really between me and 2 Chainz goes back to
What's
See,
the
he's
problem?
laughing. He
What's
trying
the
to
problem?
play me like his weed is better than mine, and he don't really know what I do in the game. So
Okay.
Listen.
I see him at Coachella. We had some exclusive. What was that thing? It was like, was that a hotel? What was that? Where One Oak had their thing. We was me, you, French.
It was some things there.
It was a beautiful situation.
It was nice people around.
And you know, I start sitting around those hammers I keep, you know? And 2 Chainz look at me like,
Wait, the pen pens?
I got the pens and I had some rolled up.
Got you.
Yeah, he had some pre-rolled joints and everything. And apparently, Ebro's not familiar with my resume and my
I
background.
am, but that's not our issue,
Wait,
bro.
did 2 Chainz look at it? Was like,
No, he looked at me like, this is you?
I am because I didn't know that was his moniker. I didn't know that I didn't know that I didn't know he was taking, smoke breaks up. I just didn't know. Sometimes you don't know. Like some people have their business and some people, I respect you for that. I guess in my
I don't move with that as my
as your selling point.
No.
Right,
like you
right,
can
It's
do
not a
with that.
part of my brand.
I got I feel you. And it's not a part of mine either, but for the most part it's very much a part of my household, my upbringing. My father jugged, pounds of weed, you know what I'm saying, ever since I can remember, you know what I'm saying. My mama was a hustler. You know what I mean? A lot of these rappers I served personally before I became, who I was. When they came to the city some kind of way through me, I was, releasing gas packs and doing my thing. And, I can say that very confidently. And it wasn't too long ago, you know what I mean? And it's nothing to brag about, but just, rap things was moving a little slow for me. And so it took a minute for me to go cold turkey. Yeah.
Well, I mean, now you here, and I just wanted to let the audience know, full disclosure, because that's something that we practice here.
Yeah, that was
Morning
funny. It was that look. I know you seen on my face.
I
man.
handed it
Like,
to him. He looked at me like,
a little judgmental? A judgmental?
well, nah, it was like, why is Ebro handing me weed?
Judgment. It was a little judgment. I mean, I'm not sure. I'm sure it's another like synonym to use, but I was like, that was my face. I'm like, what are you doing, bro? Cause if I knew we was on the same, wavelength, that's the way.
We would have built
people
earlier.
church.
Yeah, we would
That's
have
the
built
way people
earlier.
church up. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, you know what I mean? When that's around, you know what I mean? It's conversations and people do it a lot, at bars. But I'm not like a real drinker like that. So if I find someone who wants to, smoke a joint and maybe politic or be a lot, I'm totally down for it.
Anytime I'm in California, and because that's where I'm from, I touch down and the gifts arrive.
Okay.
So because I had done so much
Yeah, they
in the
show love
90s,
out there.
you know what I'm saying? Cats that
tried to.
you know what I mean? They just come and bless the God. You know what I'm
I
saying?
did so much in the.
Just play along.
All right.
Play
True.
along.
And so I was just sending things around. I was just, and ever since then, me and Chainz, it's been a little friction because I didn't really appreciate the disrespect.
Nah, man, it's love, man. Trust me, man.
Did he come back and was like, nah.
He smoked. He smoked. We were smoking. Everybody was smoking.
Yeah.
Would you ever dabble in the weed business?
I'm in it. Something is, I'm 2 Chainz. I'm one of the.
I do it.
One of the most high-end trappers in the game, and yes, I'll be participating in the legalization of marijuana too. There's room out there for everybody, and so
Of course. It's one of the fastest growing business right now. It's booming when it comes to.
Been putting some mood boards together and some vision boards together, and you'll see something really soon.
Are you? I know in Atlanta, everyone that is from there has a great respect and relationship with the current mayor. But as a state, obviously Georgia's very different than Atlanta itself. Are there people moving in unison to try to find a legalization path for the state?
Yeah. Kasim, he'll be out this year. This is last year, but Kasim was like one of the most respected and the realest to do it. I think the next officials coming in, we're talking about doing something with legalization of marijuana because it's kind of meaningless. Atlanta is really known for people in the clubs and they're really carefree about it as far as the city of Atlanta, but you do have people that's incarcerated for it. So I think they're gonna try to balance it out by maybe making it an ounce. I'm not sure what the law would be, but just to
like
try
a decriminalization of it.
Yeah,
Right.
because I think a lot of the prisons are filling up due to something that is essentially a misdemeanor or not even a crime in other states. So it's something to talk about, definitely.
With that and talking about incarceration, since we're there, the current regime in the United States is trying to ratchet things up and take things back where they can fill up these jails and get this cheap labor out of the black and brown poor folks in this country. And I know you yourself have, worked with youth in your community, in your city. You just had that was the Pink Trap House, which was a great pop-up for your album and just a way to celebrate everything. But became now, I saw you doing a blood drive over there. You've done a lot of things for the community.
Church.
You did the HIV testing?
Yeah. It was essentially the Statue of Liberty. It's like when you go to Atlanta, it's the Eiffel Tower, like for like a month or so. It was a place where it was one of the top 10 most Snapchatted places in the whole world. So it was a situation where it was a building that derived from an idea that came from the album cover. The inside was filled with art. I don't think people really understood how much inspiration was inside. Like inside, if you were just having writer's block or bad day, whatever, you went inside, it was really, truly different art from different people, and it was truly a vibe. We had music, we had food, and it was a place that people came and hung out, and there was no incidents. We had, more or less the neighbors really not even really knowing or appreciating how much attention we drew to that area, but more or less complaining about trash, or parking, or I know one lady that complained actually did picture frames. And if I'd have had a chance to talk to her, I would have, and maybe it's my fault because some things I just assume when you see someone trying to make something positive and it's still like something trying to block it, it semi frustrates me, So I'm trying to find out who's all complaining. And they like, this one lady complaining, but she say she know you and your mama. So I'm like, who is it? And they like, such. I'm like, all right, let me talk to her. You know what I'm saying? She claims she knows, I'm from the city. I may be confused. And then like another lady, she does frames. So I'm like eyeglass. They're like, not like picture frames. I'm like, well, we doing art. I know it looks crazy.
Yeah, come bring your picture frames.
Maybe we can work together. Because we was doing painting sips and things like that where the ladies came out and some of the guys came out.
That's popular with the ladies where they drink the wine and paint.
Man.
And
it's like, and it's a vibe, and it's like you don't have to worry about nobody walking and just being unruly, disrespectful. It's really a vibe. I really had a place set up, and for the name Trap to really be related in the city of Atlanta for like a place where you sell drugs, crack, one way in, one way out, and all that. For someone that really came from that cloth and made it out, it was important for me to highlight this word and just really show you the meaning of it now. Like people, when they go to their hair salon, you're trapping. If you do nails, you trap. It's just different meanings of trap now. Like it once used to just mean a negative connotation, but now you can actually switch trap. And it's just about staying down. It's just about, being persistent, taking risks, trying to prosper and everything. And so we had Trap Church out there, like where a preacher came out and where people came to hear the word. I know it sounds super crazy, but it happened. You know what I'm saying? It happened on my watch, and I'm very thankful and blessed for that.
Because I know remember when I reported on it, because I loved it when I saw that you were doing the free HIV testing.
Yeah, definitely.
And then I was like, and then I also read that you were getting some pushback. I'm like, why in the world would you get pushback for doing something so positive in your community?
The HIV thing, like, I'm
and
like,
it's HIV Awareness Day today.
Like,
too.
and so I'm gonna be honest, like that wasn't my idea. Like the health department called us, like piggybacking off what we were doing in the community.
Right. Because you
like
were
you got all these
you're
people.
touching the youth.
Like we had flags from people from like how you go to soccer games, you see different flags, man.
Yeah.
I'm pulling up to the trap house. I'm seeing like, I'm asking people like, what flag? It's like, that's a Nigerian flag. I'm like, get out of here. You know what I'm saying? It's people like from New York, like couples that came, families together. You see people taking family portraits. We had a couple come from Australia. Like, you know, that's like, so for me, I'm like, it's dope to have a concept, it's dope to have an idea, but it's dope to get, you know, people involved. And for me, it's really it's a new way of marketing. Like, you know, people need to know I always think outside the box. Whether you think is, you know, surface or not, like I always think outside the box. So this is just a whole new way to market. The Trap House was put up. We did a listening party in there. It was hot. It was nostalgic of being in the trap. In the trap, you know what I mean? And so when you left, you were like, ooh, it's hot. But, you know, people, you know, when you go to the club, it was people outside. When you come back from the club, it was people outside. It was one of those events. So to go side by side with my album, I'm very thankful.
Your album, and this particular album, I think when I heard it.
You listened to it?
Yeah, I listened to it. And I really love the 4 a.m. joint. That's one of the joints I've really been playing a lot. And I realized in listening to this album that your voice now at this stage of your career and at this kind of, I guess, point in the trap music thing, you are one of the, I guess, for lack of a better term, godfathers of the sound. And then I started thinking about just how, and Laura and I was just talking about this, of where you started in music, in the DTP thing, and then branching out of that. And at this point, it's been what, 12 years of you as a solo artist? Have we reached 12?
It's been not as a solo artist. Duffel Bag Boys came out in 2007. And that's when I was with Player Circle and, and Disturbing the Peace. And then I went on tour with Wayne around 2008. He asked me to be in Young Money, and I said I didn't want to seem like I'm click hopping, but I knew that the invitation would never expire. You know what I mean? It was just an open invitation. That's when he was building Young Money without any artists. And I didn't want to seem like I was going from DTP to Young Money. And then, like, you know, I have the biggest, utmost respect for Wayne. So, you know what I mean? That's why we still rock with each other. But I actually thought, like, whenever I got out of this current situation, that I could be my own boss. You know what I mean? I felt like I could lead my own regime. Mm-hmm. I can just, I don't know. I just felt like I had what it took. So 2008, and then I think we tried to drop another Player Circle album that, you know, didn't do well. But, like, I always secretly felt like I had to respect with, like, my rap peers. Like, no matter how many units I sold, I would meet some of the most upper echelon artists, and they would acknowledge me, they would recognize me, and it just kept me. And then, like, somebody like Wayne, who the whole world, you know, around this time, 07, 08, 09, like, you know, like, yeah, and I'm around them, and I'm picking up on just, you know, I'm observing things like any smart person should, like the work ethic, what it takes to really, you know what I mean, get to the top, what it takes to separate yourself. And then having people believe in him and him believing in me, just kind of like, I always had that secret thing inside, like, man, I know I could, you know what I mean, I could do this. And then I guess what it was is I had a studio at the same time around this time, but my studio wasn't solely based on recording or working. You know what I mean? We were, you know, trapping or whatever you want to say out of the studio, like half the time, you know what I mean? We were selling bags, drink, you know what I mean? Just, you know, we rapping some days, but I'm looking at dude, and I'm knowing he having millions. I'm knowing he just sold $1 million in the first week, but he's so habitual with going to the lab every night. I'm trying to figure out, I don't have millions. I own a studio. I'm not using it. You know what I mean? It wasn't, the equation just wasn't adding up. So I kind of, that's when I was telling y'all before, I think on the air, that I just went cold turkey. I woke up one day, and I was the only one, I mean, you know what I'm saying? I was one of the only ones that had the plug in Atlanta from Cali, because of all this traveling and stuff I was doing as a musician. I was using my time wisely. I was able to meet a plug, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? And you know what I mean? You'll be surprised how it's a business, but you become friends with hustlers, and you know what I mean? You meet each other family, and you have a family while you hustling and whatever the case may be. I just woke up one day and just told my people, I'm going cold turkey. And they thought I was like laughing, or just playing, or just whatever it was. And I was like, I'm dead serious, man. You know, from then on, I started recording every day of my life. I went to, you know, Q-Tips and recorded last night, just it's become therapeutic for me. You know what I mean? And it's one of the ways that I see, like, this is how you become successful. And anything you do, you have to work on your game. You have to practice, whether it's hooping or being a rapper. And that's why I've been able to last so long, stick around so long, because I'm recording every day. I don't really take vacations. And if I do, I take my engineer, and it's still some kind of way that I have to work on my craft, unless I'm just, not able to do it. So that's my story.
And your voice, synonymous with the music, right? You delivered on this Pretty Girls Love Trap music yet
Definitely
again. We had Vince Staples up here, and he was like, Vince Staples straight up told me, it wasn't on the air, he was like, yo, this 2 Chainz is one of the greats. People don't put him in the convo, but as far as the way he uses his voice, and then we was just debating and arguing back there about your live performance.
Yeah.
Because Cass One and Laura Styles was like 2 Chainz on stage, one of the best performers on stage.
Yeah.
And it ain't like he trying a bunch of backflips and doing all that, but his presence and the beats and the way he stays in pocket and the whole thing. I'm just saying all that because I think at this point in your career, and I'm going to get off into talking about the fashion and the things that you're doing and the collabos that you're doing and just your other business, but I think it's important that we acknowledge what you've been able to accomplish from where you started. Like I think it's important right now.
Yeah. You was going to say something?
Yeah, I was going to say, in transition to that, I have a podcast called Improper Etiquette where I interview just like women in all kind of industries. And like last week we had my good friend Yvette Davila, who worked at Def Jam, and we were talking about, she was giving us like, her side of the story on certain artists that she really admired. And when I said, I was like, did you ever have a soft spot for any artist or anybody who really like, you saw them? Because, I'm pretty she saw so many artists come in and out. And she said that she called you a master marketer. She's like, 2 Chainz. It's like, 2 Chainz is incredible. She's like, he's a master marketer. It's like, he works hard and he's so innovative and he's always, always, always ahead of the game.
Yeah. I appreciate it. Yeah, that's my girl. Yeah. It's just a lot. It's just a lot. Yeah.
I think also, because do you remember when we were like out of nowhere, okay? Because you have, we see you're successful in your music. Remember Christmas time when all of a sudden we were like, hold on, it's like something as simple as, an ugly Christmas sweater that we all like, look at it as an ugly Christmas sweater, to flip it and to make it appeal to kids. And I don't know, rumor had it that you made $1 million off of those dabbing Santa sweaters.
I made $2 million.
$2 million. That's incredible. And then to me, it's like, because, you wouldn't think that of a successful artist. Like, some people be like, a famous rapper would make his own collection, a big collaboration with a major brand. But I think that's such a special way with connecting with your audience.
Well, knowing how to use social media, knowing how to interact, do e-commerce, knowing how to capitalize off waves, movement, knowing how to give back too. Like, I didn't keep all the money, actually. I didn't give all the money back, but at the same time, I changed people's lives. I know I changed people's lives when I got that money, because essentially I started feeling like it was kind of free money. It was a good idea, but you know what I mean? But if it was a bad idea, I wouldn't have really lost no money, Right. So, we helped out veterans. We did a lot of things that I do for people in my community has the trickle-down effect. And then the trickle-down is at the bottom, it has to be a child. It has to be a kid, because I don't have the memory of somebody coming to my neighborhood doing something mysterious, miraculous, whatever. You know what I mean? And so when I go in a home and I pay the rent for a year, whatever, they have a kid who's like, struggling with whatever she's struggling. Or when I buy a lady a van, and it's for wheelchair accessibility, and she has a kid who, you know what I mean? Like, it seems like I'm buying the van for them or whatever, but it's like it's trickle down. It's really for the kid. Like everything, like I bought a house for someone who had 9 kids, and I told him, look, don't have no more kids. Like, I don't know if nobody told y'all that, but don't have no more kids. You know what I'm saying? But they had, like, they were staying with they said they lived with raccoons, fam. Like, I don't mess with raccoons, fam.
Yeah, not in the house.
No, fam. Like, you know what I mean? And they was like, they had raccoons, and dude said he had to put, like, I guess a trash can over one, and I guess just left. You know what I mean? Like, it was just these stories, bro, that I was hearing about in the house. And so they kept having, like, seizures or something, but I think they had mold or something. It was something that was calls, and so one person couldn't work, one person, and he had a beautiful family. Like I think it was 2 sets of twins. It was just it was one of those stories, you know. It was just one of those stories, fam. And you know what I mean. And so, you know, my team them got them Ubers, like 3 Uber trucks, and told them to bring, you know, what they were gonna bring. And like, you know, like, and I come from this, so I'm not that far removed from just, you know, like putting everything you got on the cover, on the
and bundling it up.
you know, on the Santa Claus act there, like,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Tie the opposite corners together.
You know, under that, I'm not that
shoestring.
I'm not that far removed from that.
Yeah.
That's like honestly what they had, and when they pulled up, it was a surprise. You know what I mean? It was a surprise. A lot of the people that I helped, it was just vetted. It was like research done. Like, okay, like we rolled past it. You know, this is real. You know what I mean? And you know, they were just super. You know, the kids like, just little, you 2 Chainz. You know, watch out. You know, it was like smiles, and it was like, it took them a minute to realize, like, you know, like y'all not at my house. You know what I mean? You better find out what you having so many siblings. You know, you need to find out your room situation. It becomes one of those things. You know what I mean? And so that's what I found joy in that. Like, you know, we all get those back ends. We all, you know what I mean? We all guilty of the Jay-Z call out as far as putting money to your ear or whatever. You know what I mean? And I'm sure he's done it before or whatever. But just coming from certain situations where you come from, and like, when I talk to people like a Steve Stout or anything like that, what I want them to realize, who've already been through the ups and downs and made the mistakes and kind of like can see the light at the end, like how young black people initially, when we grow up, all we want is $1 million, fam. Like that's the goal. Like, and we thinking rapping, hooping, like that's the goal. Like, and so we think that a record deal or going to the league is the way, or selling dope is the way to get that million for something. That, like, we don't even have the billion mentality yet, or ownership mentality, or a lot of these mentalities are not, you know, we're installed with the mentality like, I need $1 million. And then and you have this wish list of what you're gonna do when you get the $1 million. You know, you can spend the $1 million before you get, I'm gonna get a house, I'm gonna get this kind of car, and the $1 million is gone. You know what I mean? It's just this dream. And so I think as you grow up, you start realizing, you know, how to put things in perspective as far as, you know what I mean, credit or whatever else that, you know what I mean, somebody else would think. But I know initially, a young black person, especially from my upbringing, I think the bottom line is that, you know, I need $1 million. And then now you can make one for being a damn blogger or chef or photographer. I mean, there's so many ways to be that now. But I know initially growing up, it's like you either gonna have a crossover, a jump, or like have some wordplay. And so, you know, I think that's where you might have some disconnection with one wing and another wing, you know, in hip hop.
Derek, and I appreciate you saying that too, of you wanting to make sure those that have navigated stay in touch. Mm-hmm. And you reference Hove making that, you know, put your money to your ear, we don't call that money over here reference. And there's other things in the new Hove album that I'm sure spoke to a lot of people in positive ways or negative ways. Mm-hmm. But do you appreciate the conversation of the Hove album?
Yeah. Because I mean, I'm like one of those people that don't do stuff like that. You know what I mean? But I can respect it. Like I get excited when I see these young boys because like, as long as ain't nobody got robbed or killed yet, it's kind of like admirable when you see somebody go from like 0 to 60. When you see somebody like now, social media kind of gives you your like timeline of your success. I mean, as far as your necklace upgrades, your car upgrades.
I mean,
it's like
a daily microscope.
It's like the Super Bowl. Like everybody was happy from Atlanta the first and the second. When you go back and look at them snaps, you see facial expressions, you know, changing. IG story go from ATL. It's just like we started like, but you can, you know, it's the opposite way when you see people start growing and getting money and they be all hundreds and like, you know the real way to get money is like entertainer doing shows. That's why I'm so passionate about doing shows. Like I love live entertainment. I think that's one of my best qualities. I came from like playing basketball in front of people, and then like I use the correlation because anybody who had the basketball, that's who everybody looked at, unless you were like, you know, Kobe or, LeBron, like they waiting on you to get the ball. But like for the most part, and the microphone is the same thing. When you have a microphone, like no one ever saw like Beyonce's background dancers, like ever. She has like 30. No one ever saw them still. It's just something about the person with the mic. So I was someone that never shied away from attention. I wanted that, you know what I mean? And like I'm different, 60,000, 16,000, it depends on what outfit I'm gonna wear. Like the more the better for me. The more, the better. And I think with the up and coming artists, they're able to entertain, so whether they're able to get some substantial amount of back ends, who knows what they're doing, but who it's their money. So I find happiness in seeing a lot of the youngsters, have it. Knowing that they didn't have it, knowing that they wrote a song that made them a millionaire, man. That's the initial feeling when you get over that hump, when you get over that hump, then I think you have different thoughts. And when you get a family and kids, you have different thoughts. But initially, that's the goal.
Do you you use a great analogy of the Atlanta Falcons in the Super Bowl, because obviously we was all thinking that, me included, let's wrap this up.
Yeah.
But in many ways, that metaphor, here comes, the Patriots, and they take the game back because people relax. And I think, because I'm tough on a lot of young artists, not only because I want to see the skill set, but I want to see what else you got. You got one trick, you made $1 million, that's cool. But I don't want to see you or anyone around you go back to the beginning.
Okay.
So I'm gonna challenge you right now. So you either gonna step up and get over it and really figure out what the next 5-6 plays is about to be, right? So I guess what I hear in the conversation being had on both ends of the hip hop spectrum today is, yes, celebrate the cats at 0 to 60. That's awesome. But we've seen 0 to 60.
We've seen it.
Back to 0.
We've seen it all the time.
We don't want to see that.
They've seen it too. So
Yeah.
it's like, listen, fam, we've all seen the artists that blew up, got the big head, took a dump on people, then on the way down, need a favor or something, and forgot how they, Or you see the people that went up, kept it humble, kept it respectable, still can get a hug, still can get a favor, still can get a verse. You seen someone get rich, get broke, get rich. You seen every scenario has happened in hip hop. It's just, have you paid attention and have you learned from them? You know what I mean? And I know initially, like when I came in the game, I was one of those people that I bought my mom a house first. I remember that. Boom, just my mentality was just was all under the impression that you're not gonna have it a long time. I mean, it's crazy. That was my mentality. The first house I get, I pay it off. Boom. I come in the game with a Panamera and some other, pay it off, boom. Because in my mind, I'm like, if I don't make it, which is like wrong, if I don't make it, then I already got a house. Mama got a house.
You got an asset that you can sell.
Smart. Yeah, you got something.
Right.
But the difference between my way of thinking now and my way of thinking then is not, if I'm going to make it, I know I'm going to make it. So I don't have to liquidate all my assets and pour it out like it's a few other people that don't have that kind of way of thinking. You know what I mean? That's like us. That's that scary, and it's just like what you said. I got some stuff I can sell in case, something bad. And it's just, I think that's just the wrong mentality to have. Like, what you got is for you. Like, when we talking about our ideas, like these God gave you these yours. Even when people try to take other people's stuff and it ain't for them, it never pans out the right way, bro. You know what I mean? It never pans out the right way, bro. So.
You speaking of Jay, you was in Jay's album, you was pictured with Kanye West having a nice brunch, lunch, family time. That was beautiful. But it seemed like it happened right around the time Jay made his comments about Kanye. Jay and Kanye, I don't think they have beef. We had this argument this morning. I think them as brothers sharing.
No, he definitely said they still, Jay said, we still brothers, you know what I mean? The meal, my daughter had been, and that's why I'm kind of like, I'm making up this interview. I was supposed to have been here like a couple weeks ago, and my daughter was in the hospital for a couple weeks, so I kind of shut down mentally. I went to BET, I went to LA, and I didn't go to BET, I didn't do radio, I didn't do, I'm really a family kind of oriented dude, so I just end up cutting everything. And it was the same time my album dropped. So it's like, I want to be like, yeah, I know this is the hardest album, but it's like my baby girl ain't feeling good, you know what I mean? And so I told her, while she was in the hospital, because I have a crib in LA too. and her family hadn't been out there. I only had it a couple months, you know what I'm saying? But I did most of my album out there. It's a super vibe. And when I left her, they had gave her took her appendix out and she didn't have to have it. That was just some crap. So I'm thinking she about to get better when she actually not getting any better. So I left and, I got like this orange tree in front of my house. Like, you won't have them in like Georgia, not like this. And so I'm FaceTiming her and I'm telling her like, when you get better, she's kind of tall. I'm like, you're gonna have to jump and get your own oranges off the tree. I'm just trying to like cheer her up, like
Right.
use my psychological approach to just get her off the pain. And so when she started feeling better, she held me to it.
She was like, Daddy.
When we going, just like that. I thought we was going to the Cali house. So I was like, I got to shut it down. So, I was like, I called, like, let's go to Disney. I'm setting up everything to do like last moment. Disney World, just everything to do just to make her happy. And then the calls, I hit Ye up because I went over there a couple of times. Kim cooks a couple, times. And I'm like, but I never had my fam. I told him, like, I might come through, woo, woo, woo. He's like, cool, I have shorty, whatever, And we came over, and it was just like laid back vibe. It was nothing like over talking about the music, because it was really on some fam, and kids get in the pool, eat, just something that I think people take for granted or don't do enough or don't celebrate enough or don't acknowledge enough. And so it
feels good to get the families together.
Yeah, because like essentially they a lot of us have kids around the same age. I know Saint and Halo around the same age, and North and my daughter Harmony. And not even just that, like listening to the old Wu-Tang, you know what I'm saying? Your kids, it's just cool when kids grow up and hang with their, the whole thing is just, and they grow up. Like a lot of my homies got kids, they grown.
Time don't stop. People forget that part. Time don't stop. They gonna grow up.
They gang banging, smoking. They doing. It's just like, boy, I remember you when you was, you know what I mean. But it's like they grow. Like you say, time don't stop.
So Kim cooks well. She be throwing down.
Yeah.
She gets busy.
Yeah.
Do you? I think I heard that you were working with Eminem. Or you was in the studio and about some Eminem work being done?
I don't know anything.
Well.
Yeah.
Well, we definitely heard a rumor that Eminem was in the studio with Dre.
Well, yeah, of course. There's
So
an
that's
Eminem
happening
project
now.
on the
Let's
way.
put that on Dre. Yeah, he's probably working with Dre, but I'm a fan of Eminem.
Facts. People excited. And this is gonna be a great time for hip hop. Like just the amount of albums that are coming out that are complete thoughts and thoroughly focused.
And each album, like, people are putting more thought. It ain't like people like, I'ma still do me. Like, nah, people going back in the car wash, getting they mats clean. Some people just want the outside done. Like, maybe you need a vacuum the ashtray. Like, people are really cleaning up the process. And I'm happy to be out this year. It's gonna be one of them things where you're gonna have to, like, you got some albums that came out this year that I really like and I really respect, like, for real. So
What are you listening to right now?
Pretty Girls Like Trap Music.
Well,
and I'm no, let me tell you something. I don't ever do that. I don't ride around and listen to me. I don't have time to do that. So it's just really something that connected with me on this album that made me. I'm someone that puts out an album and don't know none of the words at the show, because after I do the process, I'm working on the next thing.
Right.
I'm not like playing it over. No, I'm like, it's done. Like I'm super chasing the next joint, because I believe in time, and when you have a hit, I'm like, you can't be like acting like this hit gonna last. We know this hit is only gonna be, it's gonna sound different next year. And so my process is when I get a hit, it's like, man, it'd be dope to have another one in the chamber, another one, put up. And so, yeah, my process is a little different with that.
I heard you say earlier in this combo you was at Q-Tip's house last night.
Yeah, I'm working on my next album.
Q-Tip has a house in his studio, so you cooking again with Q-Tip.
My next project is gonna be very, I think like all of them been pretty solid, but the next project is gonna be solid as well. It's gonna be conceptual. It's gonna be well thought of. It's gonna have interactive marketing ideas, and I actually started on the album that was working on last night with him. I started on that before Pretty Girls Like Trap Music, but Pretty Girls Like Trap Music. It was time for that. The album that I'm working on now kind of has a few sample,
So let me put. This is what I see. Sitting
sample
back.
loaded.
So now I've seen you collaborate with Static Selector
He's a part. That's
on 3 different records that Static Selector has of his own.
yeah, I like.
So I have to assume that
He's a part of the next album for sure.
And then Q-Tip's a part of the next.
Yeah, so I went over there I went over to Q-Tip and let him hear the Static record because I wanted him to be more of like a curator of my next project because I just respect what he has done. I told him like imagine a trapping ass Midnight Marauders, you know what I mean? It's just like, you know what I mean? Like someone that like it's hard to meet someone that's respected by the OGs and the young Gs, you know what I'm saying? It's hard to meet someone that has the diversity that I have or bring to the table who can appease to a Harlem, to 125, you know what I mean? And still appease to Peachtree Street, the West End, Bankhead, you know what I mean? Or appease to the West Coast, and you know, whatever it is. I'm one of those people that I'm able to do that, you know what I mean? I'm able to appreciate a proper dig in the crate, and I'm also able to appreciate a dope-ass 808, you know what I mean? So I'm anybody. I'm really like a producer's dream to work with because we can have, and I'm with to having fun. Like he was over there chopping. I'm like, bro, listen, load up a beat, bro. Look what I do last night, Joe. But taking too long. It's gonna take you longer to do whatever you're doing than it's gonna take me to do it. He's like, I'm just used to working with people that have, and I understand that. But it don't take all day to do nothing over here, Jack. He went upstairs, came by. I want you to hear this before I leave. He's like, bro, these are real bars. I'm like, yeah, I know.
Well, and that's one thing. Chainz and I, if you look back at some of our old combos, like we've been back and forth about me being like, yo, what's up with the raps? Because I know you get down. You'd be like, yeah, nah, I know how to do that too, but I'm doing this and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
The Static Selector joints, you get into the bars. Hearing you with Q-Tip, you get into the bars.
No,
On
so
this
that
Pretty
my
Girls Like
mentality
Trap,
changed.
I'm hearing you get into the
No,
bars.
that's all bar. So my mentality, I press reset. I probably sound like a weirdo, but I don't care. I press reset on my thinking, like January 2016, end of 2015, right? And I'm like I watch ESPN all day. Like I'm probably getting away too many like of my codes, and like they be like, you know, girls and people be like, wow, you just watch this all day, and it kind of prepares me for like the music industry. This is one example that I use. No matter how many times whoever wins the championship, right? They don't never say, I'm the illest in the world. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't, you know, for me, it's always this thing about, you know, I want to thank the team, you know, Cleveland, whatever, whoever won. It's like this humble thing when you like the biggest thing in the world. And so I try to dial in on that because I know as a rapper in the game where bragging is, you know, accepted, an individual get, you know, platinum, you know, 2 platinum records, and like, you know, they go AWOL, you know what I mean? Go with the, ain't nobody seeing this, they got their swag from me, they, you know what I mean? So I never want to be that. So these are like things that I learn and that I think about, you know what I mean? And so by me being someone that came up from hooping and being competitive and using that as my edge in rap, when I used to play sports, and the reason why I probably didn't go far or whatever with sports is that I used to play according to my competition. And I knew this, you know what I mean? Like, if it was somebody that was ranked in the state, nation, somebody, you know, y'all thought he was good, boom, and all of a sudden I show up and I want to, you know, get and I want to embarrass him. But if it's someone not so good, you know, I might shoot with my left hand, I might try a trick shot. And I literally was practicing the same thing in hip hop. I would get on a record with Drake, Ye, Sean, you know, all these people that I respect lyrically, and I would show my ass off. And like if I had to do a song with a pop act, you know, I would give them something, but I wouldn't give it to them. I wouldn't give it to them like I would do when I know, you know, I know this pop act is gonna get as many listeners as a Drake, whatever. But it's just like, this is Drake. He's respected as a rapper. You know, I gotta come. You know what I mean? Like this is gonna be, you know, whatever. And then I get with it, and rappers too. You know, like I know rappers who can you know, who have a shot, and I know rappers who don't have a chance at all. I know this when I get the song. Like, man, I don't know if I should expose it. Well, now I'm like And I think that's the difference between LeBron. I think LeBron would dunk on a girl if she was in the way. That's the difference between like I wouldn't do. I'm gonna shoot. I ain't gonna do you like that, but I'll post. Like. But when people really be serious, like Kobe don't be playing when he win it. Like people,
if you on the court,
you must think that. And so when I took on that mentality, right, like as far as like, no matter who it is, everybody's on this level. If this your first record and you need me on it, if you. Katy Perry, I don't care who you is, like, you know what I mean? I'm bringing the competition. And so I think that's why I'm where I am now and getting calls from certain people that I'm getting calls from now, because I think, they think like, I see what you're doing, but I know me. I had it in me the whole time, fam. Like it was like one of my favorite people from New York is Raekwon. I met him in Atlanta years ago. It was always important for me to have something that he could appreciate. Like, you know what I'm saying? He could be like, okay. You know what I'm saying? Because this like the chef, you know what I mean? And then so like the same thing with like anybody that was up top, they got mad respect from people up top. It was important for me to like show up. And then, Atlanta being my home, of course, Atlanta first, but like New York being the mecca of hip hop and the respect. And not saying that y'all still have the juice right now, but it's still, it's a level of respect.
Damn, man, why you have to say that right now?
But it's a level of respect.
This interview was going so good.
But it's not a secret. New York don't really, it's not a secret.
No, it's not that it's a secret. I just feel compelled now.
It's not a secret. It's not a secret.
I mean,
it's not. It's not a secret.
Them Smurda boys was bringing y'all back. Like that was some. It looked like it was some authentic New York hustler.
But like as
gangster.
you were saying, you are currently collabing with some of the great producers from the area. You recognize we spent some time. I know Jay-Z's he's been around. He's an elder statesman. Let's not forget what he represents.
Right, of course.
I like him though.
Thoroughly.
I need a verse, Jay.
Yeah.
On the next project.
Let's not and look. Let's not forget, two of the best ladies in the game right now that's dominant are from New York City.
Nikki and Remy?
Yes.
Nikki and Remy.
Yeah.
Dominant New York City. So let's not forget that.
Bars on both.
On both
let's
sides.
not forget that.
Bars on bars.
Yeah, and then obviously you brought up Raekwon, who's an elder statesman. Yeah, we, New York City, and I say we because I've lived here the last 15 years. We don't have the biggest radio hits, but we still have the most respect when it comes to those bars.
Now, some of it is timeless music. Like, the Dipset era. Like, some of these records come on right now. And you remember where you was at.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Some of these records is feel good. Like, some of these records, and that's what I like, I kind of like about, like, some of the sample-driven, like, hard records.
Yeah. And let's not, Dave East is about to flame these cats. Dave East about to go.
I did a song with Dave East before. You probably knew who he was. So let's be clear. I did.
I'm not saying you didn't. I'm just saying for the people watching, as we continue to spar in this spar situation
he's a genuine, like, I think New York dude. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a lot of New York dudes who have embodied the Atlanta way of life and everything. And I think Dave East is like the opposite. I think and I think that's why people like kind of gravitate to some of the things he's doing. Like everybody's one song away. Once you realize that, you will try to make that thing every day. But everybody's just one song away from a new house, new car, new life, everything one song away. And so, but I respect what dude.
When does the it was spoken of on Outkast record, it was spoken of at the Social Awards, and it kind of still lives because of, when Outkast felt like they was getting booed at the Source Awards, and it still kind of lives in a competitive way between Atlanta and New York and hip-hop.
Yeah, we took it and we just being stingy. We take our ball. When we go home, we take the ball home
I
with
was
us.
about to go somewhere else.
All right, my bad.
I was actually
Go ahead, bro.
What I was attempting to do was to have a dialogue about when can we move beyond that.
I mean, we took the ball. That's what. Remember, I just told you 20 minutes ago.
You see what I tried to do?
The only thing that I will say, in essence, for the younger generation, it's like with the internet, a lot of lines are blurred. Remember, we were talking about how regional rap, when it comes to like the younger artists, is a way different.
Let me just say it.
It's a way different
the hip-hop
vibe.
I'm gonna say it right now. Let me just say it right now. I'm gonna say it right now, Chainz. This for everybody watching whatever's happening right now.
Get off your chest.
The sound is different. The sound has changed.
Up
forever.
up top, down.
Kendrick and Hove have changed the sound. J. Cole, Kendrick, Hove got back to these bars. And if you ain't, and the biggest records right now is about these bars. Yes, I love a lot of artists that are making great songs for the club.
I gotta argue with you. Okay,
but when it watch, y'all gonna see in the next year.
So who you say?
Y'all can have a cute little internet. Y'all can have a cute little internet looks.
Who you said? Kendrick,
Cole, Hove got back to these lyrics this year.
Yeah, they did. But
and they got some of the biggest records of the year, the albums.
And then so is the Migos.
The Migos is great.
All right, so
they're great.
But
the sound is forever changed. From this day moving forward, y'all about to see. It's going to be more lyrics. Yeah, the beats could be this or the beats could be that and they could be whatever. But the same way you going and getting back to these samples, we getting back to these sounds. See, because I was trying to do something else with this interview. You know what I'm saying? That's not what I wanted to do. But you kept poking at me. And you do this with the weed, you do this with the rap. And I was trying to...
You have to take the L, B.
No, the L...
You have to take the L, B.
Which L?
It's a reality.
Which L?
Listen,
the L's of the last few years? That's fine.
Fam. They got a cup. The cup has reality written on it. Some people have to drink the damn cup.
No, Atlanta got it. Atlanta got heat.
That's what it is.
That's all we're saying.
And listen, out of the artists that you named, a lot of them have an Atlanta artery, a part of the stuff that's forever changed. Okay?
Oh, no, Atlanta's in there.
Okay, Atlanta's in there.
They're in there. I'm not taking that. I'm not taking over. I'm an Outkast fan, one of my favorite groups forever.
Mine too.
But New York is in that. And that's why I was trying to have a conversation about when can we move beyond that? When can we just say, look, there's strengths in both. And just like Hove said, who's from Brooklyn, nobody wins when the family feuds.
Nah.
You know what I'm saying? When can we do that?
Atlanta's a place that really shows people how to I guess get it back or whatever. You know, as far as like the unity and how we pull each other up.
One of the meccas of blackness and black community in America, for sure.
And how we pull each other up is like sure. I don't even know if y'all know who Rollo is. Rollo like he from Atlanta. He reality-based artist, you know what I mean? All facts. He has a lot of, he has a lot of truth to some of the things he says and believes in. And when he dropped the project this week or last week, everybody from the city posted it. And he didn't tell me to post it. That's just what we do in the city. It's like we pull each other up. We just like it's just and it's not to say that New York don't do it or another city don't do it. We just leading by actions. You know what I mean? It's like enough money out here for everybody. So when such and such drop an album, we just, you know what I mean? We all just think it's our business. And it's not like, you know what it is when people send you stuff, post this for me, fam. It's just different in the city when we just supporting each other. And I just think that's one of the reasons why we still on top, because we don't mind, the producers don't mind collaborating and the artists don't mind pulling each other up.
I agree wholeheartedly. And I don't want to really get into a conversation of Atlanta being on top or not.
Man, that's get boring. Don't do that.
Yeah, because I don't want to do that.
I don't want you to do that because
you baited me into this.
But
though. This is your fault.
Out of all the artists that you may not think got the whatever, they're Atlanta's Atlanta. Kind of like Atlanta. We be headlining stuff that when we ain't in Atlanta, stuff. So Atlanta artists are really big.
He just doesn't want you to forget. He's like, just don't forget.
He's going to keep going. And what I'm trying to do is bring the family together. I'm trying to bring the family together. That's what I'm trying to do.
All right, well, Atlanta artists,
2 Chainz, are you not interested in where I'm trying to take this?
I love New York. I'm going to 125 and eat today, bro. I'm pro all that. I'm pro let's link up.
Listen, he was with Q-Tip last night.
I was with, help me out. He's trying to put me in the hole. I was with Q-Tip last night. Like on that.
He's texting Raekwon right now.
And what I really wanted to say in this interview before you baited me into something else was, yes, the sound has changed, but it's changed in a way that I believe is great for hip hop in general, no matter where you're from, right? Because this year we got a Hove album, we're gonna get another Kanye album, we got a 2 Chainz album, we got a Cole album, we got a Kendrick album. Like, think about the albums that we're gonna get an Eminem album this year.
Word?
You see what I'm saying? Like, no?
We are. Yes.
I don't know.
Yes, we are.
I feel like Eminem only start popping up on the gram and things.
Yes.
Like, why are we seeing so much Eminem? We saw him with a beard. We saw him with Dre.
That's a Supreme L. Louis joint. I was thinking that was my bag. See, I go to grab him. I got the same bag. Nah, my bad.
He's trying to distract me.
Yes,
He's trying to distract.
Yes. The Eminem project is happening.
Yeah, nah. A lot of great rappers out right now. A lot of great music is out, and and that's the thing. Y'all are talking about upper echelon, A class. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to think about the bottom feeders. You got to think about the lobster tails. Now there's a lot of them that it's a lot of people that's not going on their whatever the album. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, the new artists.
They're still making.
T Grizzly is
he hard.
Fire, bro.
He hard. Yeah, he hard. There's a couple of. I mean, like I like everything, but that's I guess that's how I'm supposed to kind of be. Like, cause if you're not, they look at you like you hating or something like that. You know what I mean? So I give everybody
allowed to
a chance.
have things that you like and don't like.
You are allowed to. People already feel how they feel about you, bro. You know that. You know how that goes.
They supposed to. If everybody liked me, then it would be a problem.
Well, everybody doesn't like you, bro. You know that.
And I need it like
He's
that.
okay. He likes it, though.
I like it like that. That lets me know where everybody at. Can't nobody act phony then. If you don't fuck with me, you don't fuck with me. If you fuck with me, you fuck with me. And that's love. But, when it comes to the real shit, everybody know what time it is. When it come to uplifting these people and making sure everything is right and everybody eating, we all make sure everybody eating. Everybody's still eating, whether I like you or not. I'm still making sure everybody eat.
That's important too, E. I'm glad you got that. That's the mentality to have.
Yeah, everybody got to eat.
You need to spread that more, man.
Everybody.
Eat.
If I don't
he
like,
does in his own way. He's grumpy, but he'll still play. There's
Grumpy
records.
ass,
There's records sometimes.
Man,
He'll be like,
grumpy as
whatever.
fuck.
But guess what? He'll still play it.
man, come on.
Yes,
It was
he'll
a
still
good
do
interview
it.
until you disrespected
still
my
do
weed
it.
and then you try to come after me.
Is that a Raekwon? Ain't this something? Ain't the word? What is that?
Yes, that's
Yeah.
what he was
This is wild. Like this is just like, I'm telling you, man.
Let's play some records off 2 Chainz.
Let's play some
Pretty
records
Girls
off
Like
Pretty
Trap.
Girls Like Trap music.
I want to get to that 4 a.m. right now.
Oh man, shout out to Travis Scott.
Let's get to it, man. Pretty
Yeah.
Girls Like Trap right now.
True.
Hot 97. 2 Chainz, what's your favorite record off Pretty Girls Like Trap?
Probably Burglar Bars or Rolls Royce or Trap Check. Or,
Come on, man.
You gotta pick one.
my album. That's how I'm telling you,
fire,
it's good.
it's fire,
My
it's
album,
good, it's
my mind changes every day when I hear something because I was really in a zone working on this project. Y'all put a lot into this album. I'm not just saying it like because I really put my heart and soul into this album. So every day, something makes me appreciate a song more than I do the day before. So you know what I mean? Like the intro, I think is very good. Saturday Night, then like Riverdale Road is like where I'm from. So that gives me this feel. I mean, you got to catch one of the live
What about
shows.
the Realize joint with Nicki
Me and
Minaj when
Nicki.
she got at Remy?
I mean, I like the song.
Did you saw Remy though? Y'all good. That's family.
Yeah,
Remy likes the sport of going back and forth, I'm sure.
Yeah, but she did.
Yeah.
She did. Ask me about everything. Her and her husband and everything. But I just kept it like 1,000. Man, I'm very transparent, and I respect the game. I respect them. And like I told him, like I originally just wanted a hook out of Nicki. Nicki did a verse like to add that to it. So it was like I more or less was excited about all of that. I think you know what I mean. And at the same time, not really trying to direct someone's creative or articulate. For me personally, certain things make me say certain. I know that sounds like crap. Like I don't have things saved up for like a certain occasion or whatever. I'm not sure how everyone operates, but it's hip hop and everything. And like I said, man, I hate to be in the middle of it. I hate to be in the middle.
What did you think when you first heard the verse when she sent it to you? You were like, oh, this is where we going?
Nah, I was like I said, I didn't ask her to do a verse, so I was surprised. I was surprised about so many things. I'm like, the hook was dope as hell. You gotta think, like I sent her something, and I just like, it's like you sending somebody something and like giving them like minute direction. So I sent her something, and I think it was through text. I'm like, and I really like when you sing or do melody. It was one of those like
Kind of trying to lead her down
it was
that
one
way.
of those like, and I forgot the word, how I said it. You know what I'm saying? Like I think it's dope when you, but without saying it. And And so like in 2 or 3 days, Nikki like had it done and like, you know, told me to come through and hear it or whatever. But like by the time I got there, it was like, you gotta think my version is a hook and you come on rapping, like it takes like a minute for me to like and cause I was thankful. You know, I was thankful. I hadn't talked to Nikki for a while, you know what I mean? So to get back up and like, and I've known her for like since that tour I was telling you about when I went on Wayne, like I've known her for like over 10 years. So to just get back in the room and I heard it and, you know, I can't lie and say I didn't think I knew something was probably gonna come out of it, but I guess it was kind of like weird for me to try to tell somebody like, you know, could you like, you know, whatever, you know. But I hate to be in the cross. I hate to keep talking about it because I respect both of them, yeah. So
I mean, it's hip hop. I don't think it's. I mean, there's been.
I don't
things
think nobody gonna get hurt.
Nah, but I mean, there's been things said that go beyond just the music.
Mm-hmm.
But it feels like, you know, it's obviously both ladies is got their feelings about each other and they spin bars, and it's definitely caused people to be interested in paying attention to women in the game for sure.
Yeah, you got people coming up. You got Cardi B got a hard ass song.
Cardi,
Younger May,
Yellow's ringing.
Yeah, she got a hard song, and then you can hear her passion in it. You know, people have a different way they express passion, and you gotta respect it. Like, you know what I mean? So yeah, it's a lot of girls, and you want to see like competition. You want to see like dope girls out here. You know what I mean? So you can have choices.
Well, and it's good. It's healthy for hip hop, right?
You can have choices, not just like this girl that like I got if this or I don't get a girl. Period. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
It's dope to have choices.
It's always good to talk to you, sir.
Thank you, bro.
Pick up that
Thank
Pretty
you,
Girls
L.
Like Trap.
Yeah.
Rosenberg, man. Fuck you, man. No,
That's the drop right there. That's the drop. We taking that out of the interview. 2 Chainz said, "Fuck you, bro."
Rosenberg, man. Fuck you, man. Appreciate y'all. Pretty Girls Like Trap music is out right now. Please check it out if you haven't already.
Y'all give it up for 2 Chainz.